Hello, friends, and welcome to what promises to be one of the most exciting power hours you've ever attended. If you can hear the sound of my voice, raise your hand because we are broadcasting live from the Powur studio. We've got some amazing people on tonight. Let's light up the chats. I want to hear everybody. Where are you checking in from? And if it's your first time here, let us know. It's awesome to see Michele Thatcher from the U.S. Green Chamber of Commerce. Good to see you, Michele. Jen Wink and the Lyft team is on. Nancy, our friends are checking in, Nancy Valencia and crew. Awesome to see all of you on here. We've got some of our mastermind group. What an amazing group of people. Check in from wherever you are. Clovis, California. Adam Farver is saying game on. I see David Steele on here. Pastor. All right, we got Fresno, Yocapa, Cardiff, California. Yeah, Evangeline in the house. Hey, from Charlotte, North Carolina. Aubrey, Texas. Coastal Carolinas. This is so spectacular. Tonight we have two very important conversations that are going to happen, and I have the unique opportunity to introduce some amazing people to share with you these two incredible events that are happening tonight. And I want to talk to you specifically, if we can go to the slides real quick, about who you're going to get a chance to hear from. One of my dear friends and one of our power leaders, Mr. Charles Thompson, who has been an energy professional for many years and has just been lighting up the country, leading people from across the world to a new, cleaner energy future. And a very special guest right behind Charles, actually doing something unique tonight. They're going to actually do an interview-style format, and he's going to be introducing my beautiful bride of almost 20 years, Michele Bunch, to the stage. Now, there's some funny stories you're going to hear tonight. Before we do the interview, Charles is going to actually walk you through this amazing cloud-based platform called Powur and how we are literally disrupting and decentralizing the energy grid. And there couldn't be a more important time than right now to have this conversation. As a matter of fact, if the team can post this link into the chat, I want to tell you something before we get into the main event. Right now, there is something very special that's happening, and across the country and across the world, there's some eyes on California. What am I talking about? Specifically, right now, there is something that is being voted on called Net Metering 3. And for those of you who are in the industry, this might make a little more sense. For those of you who are new, I'll explain it in layman's terms. But basically, in order for people to have their solar panels working, they have to be connected to the grid, right? And so the utility companies have something called originally Net Metering 1. We're under Net Metering 2 right now. They're proposing something for Net Metering 3 here in California, which is going to raise the cost just for somebody to be able to produce their own power and plug into the grid. It's going to raise it from about $14 or $15 connection fee to about $90 to $95 per month connection fee, unless they hear from you. Now, if you're in California, I'm going to ask you to go sign this petition right now. It literally takes seconds to sign. I'm going to give you a chance to do it right now. Click on that link, go sign it, and tell the governor that this is not okay. This is fundamentally going to be watched across the country and across the world, and we have to cast our vote. Now, here's the good news. We're at 95,000 signatures right now. We only need another 5,000 signatures to hit a 100,000 goal and to really get his attention. And this information is going to be delivered to the governor in a very unique way. It's not just going to be a dead petition online. This is going to be presented in a very unique way. This is also going to stop the utility profit grabs. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of tired of them claiming bankruptcy after they cause fires and profit billions of dollars. This has to stop, and we have to give each of us the ability to produce and store and use our own energy without exorbitant fees to do that. Okay, so this is our opportunity to cast our vote, to let Governor Newsom know that the rest of the world is watching, because California often leads the world in these kind of initiatives, and it's very important what's happening now. Okay, so take a moment right now. Thank you for Michele signing that. I see that you signed it. I'm going to check the chats here. Who else? Advocate your organization. Do that. Thank you, Michele, CEO of the U.S. Green Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for that. And yes, post this on social media. We are literally changing the world by casting our vote, putting people on clean energy and off the dirty grid. And it's our responsibility to do this, not just for our families and not just for our pocketbooks, but for future generations. Because if they get away with this here in California, they're going to do it across the country and across the world. That's just the reality. So we have to stand up and take our power back, my friends. That is why we're here. So, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce to you one of my dear friends, one of our incredible power warriors, Mr. Charles Thompson. Before they do that, I want to share with you why tonight is special. In addition to us casting our vote, is that you're going to have a chance now to hear about this power platform. You're going to watch some videos. You're going to be able to engage in the chat. And then Charles and my bride, Michele, are going to have a private conversation that all of you get to hear about her journey. And having known Michele, you will find very soon that she is one of the most endearing, loving, happiest people on the planet. As a matter of fact, when we got married, I told her parents, I said, my job is not to make her happy. My job is just not to screw it up, right? She's already happy. And you will find that she brings a ton of energy, a ton of joy. And you're going to hear about a 3-part story. And I want you to listen to her story so you can connect with her journey and your journey. I want you to listen for the parts of you that is maybe looking for a change or a transformation. Maybe you've got background in certain industries, or you come from something that isn't the solar industry, and maybe you had some excitement, but a little intrepidation or a little fear. How many of you, show of hands, have had something you wanted to do, but you were held back by maybe your own thoughts or your own fear? Show of hands. Let me see here. I see Jose on here, Miguel. Awesome. We've all had that, right? So you're going to hear how in the last 16 months, she has overcome that fear, and tonight she's going to be here on stage. And just being here on stage can be frightening for some people. So I said, you don't have to do this perfect. Just show up, be your awesome self, and have an incredible time. So without any further ado, I want to introduce you to a dear friend, Charles Thompson. He served in our military. He serves every single day converting homeowners to clean energy and to help other people by mentoring them to become clean energy professionals. Right now there's millions of people that have left their jobs. Right now there's this mass exodus that's happening. And if you read the articles, they're saying that it's because, number one, people are wanting to live values-driven life. They want to work from home. They want to be with their families. They want to control their own time, location, and financial freedom, right? That's one of the big reasons. The other one, of course, is they're concerned about COVID. They don't want to be around a bunch of people. So what's cool is you're going to hear from 2 people, Charles and Michele, who've made that shift, made that transformation, and you're going to find out exactly how they did it and how you can join us on this epic mission to accelerate the adoption of sustainable energy worldwide. So on behalf of myself, please help me welcome Mr. Charles Thompson to the stage. Yeah, thank you, brother.
Thank you, my friend. I love you too, my man. Thank you very much. Wow, what a way to set the stage, Mr. Bunch. Honored to be on the stage with Jim. We've become very dear friends. He's been my mentor and done incredible things for the power community. So thank you for being here, Jim, and all that you do to serve this company. My job tonight on the first half is to really walk you through the power model. And we're going to share 3 videos with you this evening. It's going to walk you through who we are, the economic model that we have that's changing this industry as we know it today, the solutions that we have for you as an independent representative of power, and then if you like what you hear, of course, get your questions answered and how to join. So the first video is Mr. Jim Bunch, who you just saw on the stage here today, our VP of Culture and Training, and also Mr. Jonathan Budd, our CEO, and the journey that we went through. When you look at a company, you want to know, what is it all about? What is the culture? Who are the people behind it? So let's go ahead and launch that video and you hear a little bit more about who Powur is and how we made it.
From the beginning, Powur has always been about how do we solve the biggest challenges facing our planet, and how do we help people create a rewarding, abundant, meaningful income and livelihood through participating. And the reason why that's at the heart of our company is because that's what I needed. That's what I was searching for.
Have fun, my friends. We'll see ya.
I get a call from Jim Bunch, and he says, hey, I'm going to the Amazon rainforest with the Pachamama Alliance. I think you should come down here with us. And I'm just like, you know, sure, I'll just up and go to the Amazon rainforest next week. You know, not many people are going to say yes to that invitation, but I felt that I had to be there. I knew I was at a turning point in my life. I was looking for something more.
We are trudging through the rainforest right now. We have two guides, Ashwar guides, who are completely native. Their culture has been living in this forest for thousands of years. They just made contact with the outside world only to really form an alliance to protect this rainforest from oil companies and mining companies and companies that literally will come in and just turn all of this into a desert. There they are. Keep your wings down there.
But it was during one of the initiations that I had the vision for Powur.
The journey continues, my friends. Continues.
In the middle of the Amazon, there's drumming and singing and chanting and all this going on, and I hear this voice say, you are meant to go back and start the first crowdsourcing platform for solar energy. It was clear as day, and that's what I knew. I knew what my life purpose was. From that point forward, I knew what I had to do. It was a vision that literally came from that forest.
Being in the rainforest, there are many lessons that Jonathan and I got down there that we brought back to the company. And I remember for myself, one of the things that was crystal clear was how connected everything is. And what we do makes a huge impact. When you hire and you recruit and you train and deploy people based on what they value most, you create a synergy that's incredible. When you align those values with a clear mission and a clear vision, you create synergy.
The vision of Powur is to accelerate the adoption of sustainable energy worldwide. Our mission, and I want you to take this in, because when you join us, this is going to become your mission too, and I want it to be real for you, and I want you to be excited about it. Our mission is to build the largest clean energy platform on planet Earth. And the way that we're going to do that is through decentralization. It's not about having one giant utility or one giant company anymore. It's really about creating platforms that empower the crowd to participate in everything. And the way that we're going to install millions of solar panels on homes every year as one community, as one company, as one platform, is through a crowdsourced model. If we build a platform that allows the crowd to do it, that allows the entire ecosystem of solar to participate, then we can reach the kind of scale that at Powur we dream about, that we're focused on, and that we are going to achieve. And this is your invitation to join us.
Powerful statement there. To change things, don't try to fight the existing reality. Build a new model that makes the old model obsolete. And that is exactly what Powur did. That is the founder of renewable energy. And what Powur is doing is changing the way this industry works. And they're doing it because they recognized in the economic model who the most important person in the company is. That's you, the individual seller, the solar sales professional. I've worked for two of the largest companies in this industry. A $14 billion company, a $17 billion company, and there's another company that I consulted with. There was a $6 billion company. None of those three companies had the ability, well, they had the ability if they would have looked at the model, but they were not able to scale and be profitable at the same time. Powur did that by recognizing who the most important person in the company is, and that's you. With that, we're going to walk through the economic model so that you'll be able to get a chance to see exactly how all this is laid out to set you up for success. So let's go ahead and launch that video.
When we started Powur, we were looking at all of the ways that we could really help solve the challenges inside of solar. And it became super clear to us really quickly that the challenge that needs to be solved in solar energy today is customer acquisition. We've got the technologies. We have all the tools. We have the workforce. We could be installing as much solar energy as you can imagine right now. What's missing is the customer adoption. It's the societal adoption. And that's why we built the first model in the world to pay the people who solve the biggest challenge in solar the most, and that's you.
Your decision to be part of the future of solar and renewable energy really comes down to a choice of two pathways. An outdated get a job, work for a company model where you go to work for a solar company. Maybe you might even receive some leads that are often sold to multiple companies. The commissions are often equivalent to solar minimum wage. There is little chance for personal or professional growth, and there are often geographical boundaries. There's nothing scalable about the technology, and nothing to secure your personal or economic future. It's a job, plain and simple. That simply doesn't work or make sense in today's world, not in the new and thriving platform economy of today.
We live in the age of platforms. Uber did not become the largest ride-sharing company on earth because they went out and they bought millions of taxis and hired millions of drivers. They created a platform that allowed anyone to share a ride with anyone else through their app, and they crowdsourced it. Real estate, the old way was you walk into Prudential, there's an agent there paying $500 a month for their desk or whatever it is, and that's how real estate was done, right? The new way is EXP. It's a totally virtual brokerage platform that allows any real estate agent to sign up and offer real estate anywhere in the world that EXP operates in with the biggest commissions. And they became the fastest growing real estate company in the world. Let's look at the old way of doing solar and the new way of doing solar with the Powur model. The old way was you went to work for a solar company. So you basically had a job or you worked for a dealer somewhere and you earn money in one way and one way only when you sell. And fundamentally, you are a local or regional construction company of some kind. That's the old way. Now let's look at the Powur way. We have a cloud-based virtual platform that allows you to work from anywhere and sell solar to anywhere as long as you have access to your iPhone, right? You get 4 different methods for earning. You have the biggest commissions in the industry instead of the littlest because the majority of revenue gets shared with you through this platform-based model. You have 3 other ways to earn: passive, mentorship, and equity. You have a scalable technology platform so everything's under one roof, and we're decentralizing and crowdsourcing the fulfillment and the customer acquisition so we don't have the barriers to scale that the predecessors had in the past.
If you're looking at solar, you may not be aware of how incredible this opportunity is. There are 130 million homes that are plugged into what we know as the dirty energy grid. 90 million of those homes are eligible for solar, and at this point, a little over 3.5 million have actually made the transition to solar. So you're looking at a virtually untapped industry as we know it today. So let's talk about what's happening in the industry itself. What's driving it is the homeowner can go solar with absolutely nothing out of pocket, 0 out of pocket. They increase the value of their home by 4 to 6%. And they are going to lock in the cost of their energy, so they never have to worry about the rising cost of energy again from the energy that we're producing from their panels. There has never been a product or service in my career that I could say does that much good, creates so much impact, and makes you great income at the same time. And how we make income is by having access to something called cost of goods.
So if you are a solar sales professional at literally any other solar company in the world except for Powur, this is how it works for you. You get a price to go sell solar at. Call it your red line. And your company might say, okay, this is your price, and anything you sell over here, you get to keep. And then the company, you don't have any idea what their margins are, by the way, but the company gets to keep everything underneath that price, and you get to keep whatever is over that price. And that's how every single solar company in the world works, except for Powur. Powur is the only company in the world that offers a transparent cost of goods business model. What this means is that we give you, as a selling price, the actual cost of goods to install that system. Whatever it costs, we look at the labor, we look at the construction, we look at the equipment, we look at the permit fees, just the fixed cost of goods to install that system. That is your selling price. So when you sell a project with Powur, you get the cost of goods as your selling price, and then whatever the profit is, you keep 70%, and Powur keeps 30%.
You compare that to the traditional company who would pay $2,000 to $3,000. Powur pays over $7,000 on average, and that is over double what most traditional companies pay. You can sell in all of the states in which we have coverage, and all of that is managed for you through the back office in Powur. They also handle the accounting, all of the operations, everything that's necessary, and then pay you for every single deal, every single day.
My team provides all the support you need to present your solar proposals and get your documents signed easier than any other solution in the industry. The Powur solution makes it so simple to get a proposal. Within minutes of entering a lead into our system, you have a dynamic proposal back all under one platform. The proposal allows you to control how many panels go on your customer's home, change equipment, control their energy offset, adjust your commission, margin, any adders required for the job. Plus, you get to qualify all of your customers for financing and issue them final loan docs to sign within minutes. You have a dedicated sales support team to assist you in signing every customer, and once your customers are signed, you have a dedicated project manager to assist you and your customer along every step of the way, all the way to installation. I've worked at so many of the biggest solar companies in the industry for the past decade, and I swear I've never seen a platform like Powur where it's easy to sell, you get paid as much as you do, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
This is your chance to join the most disruptive platform that has entered into the solar industry in over a decade and really participate and reap the rewards. Join us. This is the time. That's great content. Gives you the understanding of how this works, but I'm going to break it down for you. But before I do, I want to acknowledge the guests who are here this evening. Welcome. Hopefully what you're going to find is this video really sets the stage for how we are becoming the fastest growing residential solar company in the United States of America. And I also want to recognize and give a shout out to Mr. Bobby Smith, our field president. He has some very special guests on with us this evening, and the leaders who have brought guests here as well, many of you in the room this evening. So thank you for that. Now, to the 4 types of income. So most companies, when you work in solar, have one type of income, and that's when you sell a deal. And what Powur does is they provide that, but they provide you with 3 other pathways to income. The first is what Jonathan and I overviewed in that previous video. It's called cost of goods, full transparency. Sometimes if people hear that, they say, well, that's the cost. How much margin's built into that? How much money is Powur making on that? And the answer is nothing. It is full transparency. You get access, we get access to that cost of goods, sell it at the fair market rate, and keep 70%. So that's the first type of income. The second type of income is really substantial. If you're new into this industry, think about getting into an industry and being able to tap into the most knowledgeable people in the industry to mentor you to success. I call it earn while you learn. And how it works is you look at just the net commission here of a simple project of $6,000. You get an electric bill, submit it into the platform, and tag a mentor. For that, you're going to receive half of the commission. You're not even doing it into this selling. You're relying on the mentor to coach you, to train you, and to help close your transactions. That's the best possible way to learn while you're earning money at the same time. And then it becomes a career pathway for you. What that means is once you've met the criteria to become a mentor, then you are able to mentor others in the same manner. It is, in most cases, can be a 6-figure income opportunity in and of itself in that one career pathway within the platform. So that's income stream number 2. Income stream number 3 has to do with something that I've never seen in this industry, and that's called revenue share. Now remember, we said 70% of the money goes to Powur. 30%, where does that go? Well, Powur actually takes their 30% and puts half of that back into a revenue share program for those who want to build passive income. You don't have any requirements to do that, but it gives you the opportunity to, over time, gradually come up to the levels where you may not even have to sell solar anymore. You have the benefit of helping others on the mentor program, but once you get to a certain level of teamwork and team building and collaboration, now you have passive income. I don't like to talk numbers, but it has changed my life, and I just looked at the incomes of hundreds of people who are benefiting from solid six-figure income on revenue share alone. And Powur operates on 15%. So if you think about that, all these other companies, these billion-dollar companies, couldn't scale and be profitable at the same time, but Powur is profitable and operates on only 15% because they recognized who the most important person was to be rewarded, and that's you. So that's income stream number 3, and it's substantial. Income stream number 4 is a long-term play. And that's when Powur does have the opportunity to go public. And when they go public, you get the opportunity to actually be part of that ownership. And it starts with your first install. I mean, how many companies do you go to and they give you ownership for actually selling something? Get glass on the roof is what we call it. Put glass on the roof, you're going to get 25 options. If you refer someone to use the platform, when they use the platform, they will receive 25 options, and you will get rewarded with 12 overriding options. When you look at that, it's an incredible opportunity for you to have equity and ownership as a company and hit some basic minimum performance goals of 25 installs in the calendar year. That's 250 options. If you hit 50 in the calendar year, that's 1,250 options. And since you're with Powur before Powur goes public, you're going to have the opportunity to purchase discounted options when they do go public. The beauty of this is I say, what is that worth? Because no one knows. No one can predict. We can't make income claims and disclaimers. So the disclaimer is we don't know. But I'll tell you from my perspective on a personal level, looking at the other multi-billion-dollar companies that couldn't reach profitability and scale, and Powur comes along, they do that. They introduce a game-changing model. What is that going to mean when we actually do go public? I'll leave it up to you. But I think it's going to create generational changing wealth for me and many, many people who are with this. And I think the call to action is get those options while they exist because, you know, as Powur continues to get more and more profitable and gets more and more valuable, options are going to be harder to get. All right, I can say all that. And if it weren't for the fact that you know you need tools. You know you have the mentorship program, but we have the tools to help you be successful. And it starts with the training programs that we have, live daily coaching. As you want to tap into that, again, simplicity is get an electric bill, submit it to the platform, tag a mentor, and that's the majority of what you need to learn. You'll earn while you learn. That's where all these other training tools come in. You have the ability to tap into any different type of training, 650 hours of video if you need it. But again, start out simple. Get it, submit it, tag it, and start making some money, earning while you're learning. This platform, I mean, this studio is an example of a truly disruptive platform. Virtual events that we have, and you're going to find that we have them on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis. You're going to find training that will come out of that, personal development coaching, skill building, wealth building, really helping you to take your game, take your life to a whole different level. And a big event is coming up in the middle of January. You don't want to miss that event. We can sell in all of the states you have in blue, and more markets will open up. We just actually went on a road tour through the Carolinas, Virginia, and New Jersey as we just started to really expand that market coverage. And it's phenomenal to see that we've been around for years now. Those 3 markets are now equating to almost 20% of our business because we're getting smarter, we're getting better, and now we're ready to scale. And we need people like you to be able to do that through this platform. The last video is a video that will give you some testimonials from some of the consultants who have been benefiting from this platform. And once we get done with that, I'm going to bring out our special guest, Michele Bunch. Let's launch that video.
My name is Melissa Dawson. I travel around meeting people and selling solar and coaching people how to sell solar with Powur.
My name is Jonathan Bernasso, and I'm a full-time solar consultant.
My name is JC Rangel, and I am a sales consultant with Powur Energy.
My name's Charles Thompson. I am a field leader with Powur.
I'm Chris Chibongo. When I was exposed to what Powur did, I was just blown away.
Yo soy María Salazar. Hace 25 años llegué a este país, como llegamos la mayoría de las personas, buscando el famoso sueño americano.
My name is Edgardo Gonzalez. I'm from Puerto Rico. It's been a great journey, working full-time in the solar industry.
The reason I decided to join Powur is because I saw the online platform and the 4 unique ways of earning.
Powur's vastly different than any solar company in the industry. What Powur has done is they've changed the way this industry looks at the most important person in the company, the consultant, the person who's representing the company to the homeowner.
I knew nothing about solar when I got started, nothing. But that wasn't an excuse. So the company has all of the resources, all of the trainings available, and if somebody really wants to go out there and learn the business, they can, and I'm a perfect example of it.
Extreme powerful training in sales, powerful training in solar, and then powerful training in mindset. Sales is over 90% mindset.
At the beginning, we were referring people to Solar City. We were making around $200, $500 per deal. And can you imagine, right now we make an average of $7,000 to $9,000 per deal. You could be good, but it's the vehicle. And Powur is the best vehicle you can find in the solar industry to do this, to achieve this.
And what a service that we provide. We provide solar, renewable, contributing to the evolvement of the planet, contributing to, in terms of legacy, to our kids. And Powur is, we only still at the beginning.
I like to be a part of businesses that have a future. I believe that for the next 2 decades, renewable energy, the solar industry is the industry to be in. Not only that, to me, solar is not really a sales pitch. Frankly, it's more like an IQ test. We could take a customer and cut their bill in half with 0 out of pocket, and that bill will never go up. Why would you not do that?
Sino de que estamos cuidando nuestra ciudad, nuestro planeta y nuestras futuras generaciones. Yo siempre a mis clientes les digo, mira, no es tanto el ahorro que tú vas a tener en el momento, sino ayudar a nuestras futuras generaciones.
The parts that I love the most about what I do with Powur is I get the ability to help others. That begins with helping people who've never sold solar before learn how to sell solar and how to change their life. Then what we do is help homeowners take control of their energy bill, lock that cost of the energy in, save anywhere from 5 to 40% on their energy bill every single month.
The solar installation is probably the most rewarding part. The homeowner's excited, and at that moment when you flip the switch on, no longer are you having to rely on your utility company. You're creating your own power and taking control back from the utility.
For me, it's about making an impact. We're on this planet for a small amount of time, so we need to be doing something bigger and better to help humanity.
Powur gives me the freedom to spend more time with my family. Powur gives me the freedom to work from home.
What surprised me about working with Powur is the culture and family that we have, where we have friends and family and teammates and mentors. We're all helping each other with this model. That is just something that I really feel and I didn't expect to have.
Powur ha cambiado mi vida de una manera increíble. Una de las cosas muy importantes que aquí podemos tener libertad financiera.
I work on my own terms, and that's what you do when you're in Powur.
I'm just so grateful that Powur came into my life, and to know that I can take my power back to be me and to leave a legacy for this world that I did something good for it.
If you have been looking, stop looking. Make this your home and taste it for yourself. My mission is to help as many people as possible find that freedom. I'm honored to do it through the platform of Powur.
This is the movement, this is the culture, this is the company. We welcome you. Join us. wonderful to be able to hear from some of the incredible consultants we have, our sellers that are in the platform. You're going to hear from someone in person here in a few moments. But before we do, let's just recap what you've heard tonight. So first is the 4 types of income, that 70-30 split on the revenue. So that's your cost of goods that you sell, and you keep 70% of the margin. And then the mentorship income. So once you are certified to become a mentor, you can help others and earn half of the commission on every deal that you mentor. Revenue sharing, industry changing for many, 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 many people. And then equity ownership in the company. Now, with any business, there are costs associated with getting a business. Think about a business license, for example. Good news is, with Powur, you don't need a business license. You operate under Powur's general contractor license, and you have the ability to run a solar company for pennies. So I owned my own solar company, and I know it had insurance costs, I had overhead, liabilities, had people fall off of roofs, I had all sorts of problems that I had to deal with. When I came to Powur, and I made the transition to bring my organization into the Powur platform and start just doing what I love to do, which is to coach, to sell, to train, it was life-changing for me and for so many people. You get the opportunity to do that. At Powur, it's $99, one-time onboarding fee that gets you all set up to run within the platform. It is a platform. And then we pay $49 a month to use the technology. Some of that includes your proposal tools. So in my company, and many companies out there, I had to pay hundreds of dollars per month just for that, and then pay for proposals that were created. That's all part of the monthly licensing fee that we have for technology. And there's a lot of other access as you see fit. This virtual training that you're going to find in this center here that we do weekly, monthly, and twice a year. We do massive events. I can't even tell you the value that brings back to you as you launch your business. So with that, that's the first portion of our call, your conversation this evening. And I would encourage you to get back to whoever sent you here. We're going to have a little bit more time here, but get your questions answered. Jump on this train. This is absolutely the best time to be part of this platform. Become a shareholder, earn while you learn, and put yourself on a pathway to freedom. So with that, I am so honored to bring up a dear friend of mine, one who has just really lit this industry up. It's been amazing to see someone come from no solar background to what you're going to hear about this evening in such a short period of time. And that should be applying directly to you. And as Jim mentioned, you're going to hear a little bit about what Michele's career was previously. You're going to hear about her time in the family and all the things that she had to commit over the last couple of decades, and then what's happened since she came here. So we're going to walk through those with you. So help me welcome up to the stage, Michele Bunch. I love you. Can we have a seat?
That's a cheerleader.
A cheerleader in former life?
Yes.
Ah.
Cheerleader always.
Cheerleader always, yes. So this is a unique way for us to do this. We really haven't done an interview style in the past. So thank you for being here with us tonight. How are you feeling?
Well, to be honest, a little nervous. I won't deny. Told Jim earlier, I said, if there was one time I wanted COVID, maybe it was this morning so I could really call in and not have to come on stage. No, I'm just kidding. Totally okay. I just am overwhelmed with gratitude and that I'm here today and able to get up and talk. And I see all my friends and family and colleagues up on stage. And it's, wonderful.
Well, we're grateful to have you here. And Michele, over the past, I've known you now for 7 years, but over the last year and a half, we've lived very closely together in the same neighborhood, got a chance to know you at a whole different level, and then have seen what you've done. So before Powur, though, let's kind of rewind the tape. What was your life like before that period of time? Your career path, what did you do?
Career path, yeah. You know, I was in the student loan industry for almost 24 years, but 17 of those I worked out on the road. And my job was to go to the colleges and universities and sell our student loan packages. So my goal was to get on the preferred lender list at all those colleges and universities. But I think most important was just the value of what I brought students, because a lot of them had dreams to go to college and didn't know if it was possible. So I did a lot of training on financial literacy and just making, their dreams possible, that college is certainly an option for any of us and all of us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you left that career pathway for, I'm sure, a very good reason. What was next?
Right. Well, obviously, I got married later in life to a wonderful husband of 20 years. Most of you know him, Jim Bunch. And we decided we were ready to start a family. And we have a wonderful son. He's 15 years old. He plays on the water polo team, JV. And when we started the whole process, I was still working. And when that baby came and I stared at his eyes and I thought, I am responsible for him the rest of my life. And I just wanted to be a great mom. And it was that moment that I decided I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. Jim and I were fortunate enough that that was an opportunity I could pursue. And so raised Tegan, got to participate in all of his events. I ran all the school galas. I was a party planner. And I loved it.
Well, and I've had the also fortunate opportunity to see the party planning, but also spent time with your incredible son, who now is as tall as me, and I think I've seen him grow a foot over the last 18 months, for crying out loud.
I think that comes from Jim's family. Hi, Mom. Fran.
And the great thing is, during this period of time, while we were growing Powur, you started doing some co-hosting of events and things like that to help us out. What was that like?
You know what? In 2016, now I was always an advocate, a supporter of Jim, any of his adventures, and believe me, we have many when you're a serial entrepreneur, as I'd call him. But yeah, in 2016, he came to me and said, hey, Jonathan Budd and I are going to go down to the rainforest. And I thought, oh no, what's this going to cost me? And they had gone down and came back, and upon their return, he shared his vision of clean energy, and I was really excited, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not sure what that really meant. But what happened is they had their little boys club, and they always talked about the double Ds. It was disrupt and decentralize. So we used to have these social gatherings at the house, and I really felt like I became a professional planner. I would have tables set up, as you could see at the picture we're sharing now. But the beauty was I met so many wonderful people. Amen. There were, and I'm just sharing on this picture, Charles, you were one of the participants in the group. Amen.
Yes.
There was the man with the yellow hat, and I still laugh, Dan Haar, but there were so many great individuals that I just became friends with, and a lot of you are now my Powur family.
And I look at that photo and I see that virtually everyone who is there is still part of this amazing community.
Exactly.
It's cool to look back at that and reflect. Wow. But you weren't quite ready at that time.
No, Jim asked me several times, are you ready to get engaged? And it wasn't the right time for me, nor was the Powur platform, I think, mature enough for me. I really needed a system I could plug into. I just didn't want to go out and try to figure out how to create the things. I needed a system, the resources, everything I could just plug into and start my business.
Right. And when did you make, what happened? When was that shift? When did that occur?
Well, as you know, you moved to San Diego. I got to spend a lot of quality time with you doing our coffee talks. And it was, people ask me, when did you start in Powur? And that date's July 7th, 2020. It happens to be Jim's birthday, but it's a great day to remember. I mean, it was just that day when I decided I was just going to roll up my sleeves and go all in. I mean, through the conversations I had with you and other individuals, Bobby Smith, just Jonathan Budd, hearing his conversations, I mean, it was real. Like, Powur was a business. Powur was something I wanted to pursue, and I was excited. And I think more importantly, the beauty of it was it went back to my roots. It was helping people.
Yeah. And there was an event that happened, I think, that kind of made a shift for you. If I'm not, in that same area that you looked there, what was that? Some kind of a mastermind or something that happened?
Yeah, and I laugh because, right, you invited me to my first mastermind. It was in October of 2020. And again, things for COVID kind of slowed down, so we decided to have a small gathering. You had invited me, and again, very grateful for that. But it was funny because at the time I attended, I walked into the room and I was intimidated. You asked people to go around and introduce themselves, and there was the Jonathan Bernassos, the Tom Carters. I mean, I'm going around the room, Rick Joseph, Pete Abrams, and you asked, how long have you been in solar? And these people are saying 7, 10, 15 years. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I gingerly raised my hand and say, 3 months? And I was all in. The beauty of it was at the end of that meeting, we all walked away with the same outcome. We were all aligned with the same vision, and that was to help accelerate the adoption of sustainable energy.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful story.
Yeah.
That was a great
Yeah,
event.
and I could grasp that. I understood at that point that's what I was supposed to be. I mean, what I wanted to say is I always believed in people and the planet. So Powur, it just gave me the incentive to go out and tackle that.
Great. So that was October of 2020, and now we're in November of 2021. So what's the journey been like? What's happened in that period of time? Again, brand new to solar, never done solar before, and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I sit here and laugh because I do think of a lot of conversations I had with Jim at times and with you. And I do remember, and I do thank you. You were my mentor, my first 3 deals. You helped me along with those. And I remembered getting that first mentor check. And, you know, we all go out and we work hard. We have those numerous calls, texts, just making sure everything's in alignment. And the beauty is we do have our project managers, our operation managers who really take care of us. But I remembered getting that check and I was super excited. And it was $2,200 and I thought, that was it? And then there was a reality check. My wonderful husband says to me, honey, do you remember about 6 months ago when you took that job with the optometrist? He goes, you were working 96 hours a month, and what was your take home? I said, $1,700.
And how much time did we commit on that one project, would you say? A couple of hours, maybe?
Yeah,
a couple of hours?
8 hours max.
Not a bad hourly rate.
It was my learning.
just saying.
But yeah, and then all of a sudden, again, that light bulb hit, and I was trading my time for money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the key to that is if you think about, you may say $2,200, is that all? But keep in mind, she was being mentored, so it was a 50-50 commission split. So as the mentor in this particular project and multiple projects, I was getting half, she was getting half. Her half on that one was $2,200. Just as an example, about 2 hours invested of time.
And it was a dear friend. So again, we dropped the commission, if you recall, on those first 3. We're all real dear friends. I'm looking to see if some of you are up here. But
That's
we
awesome.
dropped it as low as we could.
So what's it been like since the last 4 months or so? What's your journey been like?
Gosh, you know what? The beauty is I wake up every day and I'm just ready to go. I mean, I love working for Powur. I have built a team. I love my team. I mean, I have folks on my team. David Still, I see you up here. I mean, David, I can't even keep up with you anymore. He's bringing on solar pros almost weekly. And then I have Bill Benzel. You've closed 4 deals lately. I have Enrique. I have my sister-in-law, Michele. I think I saw her on here from Colorado, closed her first deal. It is just go, go, go. And I love it. But the beauty is, in the beginning, I did not know how to support everyone. Yeah. But Powur had all the tools, the resources, the system, the platform. So someone like myself who had absolutely no solar experience could really plug into the Powur platform and utilize it.
That's awesome. And you always have this term about how this is fun and what do you say?
Well, I always say if you're thinking about a job, you always have to look at what's the full fun, cool, and sexy factor. And I think Powur covers all of that.
That's awesome. And I'm seeing some pictures that are in the background. What are we looking at there?
Yeah, so these are just, so we have Ken Druck, a really dear friend of ours, Jim and I up on the top. So we did a solar install for his house not too long ago. We just closed, and Ken is a huge advocate of Powur. Ken actually was with Jim and Jonathan back in 2016 when they visited the rainforest with his wife. And then down below we have Allison Maslin, and we just put a very large system. I mean, I'm only showing you half of her house here, but yeah, we went with 2 full batteries and probably a 24 kilowatt system.
That's fantastic. Wow. Yeah. So what do you say to those who are looking at this and really considering whether this is the right type of position for them? From just your ride, what's it been like?
Absolutely. You know, I think what I learned, and I think these are just the few things you can take, is first it's all about just what value can we really deliver to our homeowners. Yeah. And then from there, it's just educate, educate, and educate, and you just got to plug yourself into the system daily. And from there, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. I mean, Powur's the best business I've done. I've been around for a long time.
Amazing. Michele, I'm so honored to have had this time to work with you and to see Tegan literally grow a foot and a half, I think, since I came back out
My
here.
little baby. That
Look
was him at 1 year old, sitting at the beach, and 15 now. And we love to go snowboarding. We have family adventures. And again, it's allowed me the freedom of both time, location, and everything that comes with owning your own business.
And creating impact and income. What a
Absolutely.
phenomenal story.
Yeah.
I love you, and I
you.
thank you for being here with us this evening. It's just truly amazing to be with you.
Yeah, thank you. And I just wanted to make a last note that in December, Jim and I will be traveling to Colorado. I have family there and friends. And on December 28th, we're going to hold a social power mixer. And I invite anyone in Colorado that wants to join us, private message us. We'll probably post something. But yeah, I'd love for you to just join us and connect. I have some of my leaders of Colorado that will be there. We have Ryan Burke, there's Jarrett, Michele Ball, Bernetti, my sister-in-law. So just a group of great individuals.
So think about that journey. We go from having no experience in solar 18 months ago,
Yeah.
no experience in solar, and I know you're pacing a solid six-figure income or better, and you're having the time of your life. You're helping coach, train, and mentor others. Who would have thought you would have been doing that 2 years ago?
I know, it doesn't get any better. I can't say it enough. It doesn't.
You're a blessing to the company, and you're a dear friend, and I love you, and I thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Likewise. Power on, my friends.
Power on. And I believe we're going to bring back up to the stage Mr. Jim Bunch to share a few more things with you before we go and get your questions answered through whoever sent you here. But Mr. Bunch, come on back up.
Awesome. Great job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Love you both. Honey, fantastic.
Thanks,
You're
love.
amazing. Hang here for a second if you'd like. We're actually going to have people come out and have some fun and close this thing out. Again, everybody, thank you so much for being here. If you were inspired by tonight, something about that impacted you, go ahead and type it into the chat. And as you'll see up there, we have the petition that we're asking everyone to sign, no matter where you are in the country or in the world, because all eyes are on California. And my friends, this is up to us to get this next 5,000 signatures and make sure that we truly do make an impact in our planet. So thank you so much for being here. On behalf of myself, Michele, Charles, and the rest of the Power team is going to come out and wave goodbye. We love you. Have an amazing, amazing night, and game on.